What's happening with my subscribers, man? Y'all know Dirty Nation been around a long time. So, I mean, motherfucker got so many stories, but I got plenty. But this one right here, this story right here, man. This story is called The Year-Long War Between the Blacks and the Northerners. Like you probably wonder how can two people go to war? How can two races go to war for a whole fucking year? Well, in 2005 in Solano, it was very, very possible, and it happened. The blacks and the northerners. I probably may have told this story, but y'all ain't heard it like this. So there's a reason why races kind of restrict playing sports against each other. You are rarely ever gonna see. I almost made it happen in Salinas Valley one time, but you is never gonna see. Well, shout out, I think his name was Chito or Chino, the shot caller for the Southsiders, but he almost let it happen. It almost happened on a level 4 yard, but you is not gonna see no Southsiders playing sports against no blacks, just not. And if you is, it's rare. But anyhow, so so what happened is, well, Northerners they can play sports with us and often do, but it's normally with us, not like against us. But this particular time in Solano, they were playing soccer, and like one thing I can't say about a lot of dudes in Sacramento, man, we play a lot of different sports. Like we might not look like we can, but we could play soccer, baseball, football, basketball, all the shit. Cause we grew up like in a well-rounded town, like a racially balanced town. So you have to know how to do some things to blend in. So anyhow, back to the story. So the homie, pause. There's a guy that moved in literally to the benches outside my house. Like he literally showed up 2 days ago with all this shit, grabbed a bench, and got his shit spread out like it's a cell. Anyway, back to the story. Because if you hear some yelling, that's what that is. He thinks he's a Viking. So anyhow, so so the blacks and the northerners decided they wanted to play soccer. Now this is Solano B yard. Back then it was called it was B yard, but back now it's called the 2 yard. But anyhow, they got to playing soccer. It got to getting aggressive, right? Got to getting aggressive. It's the blacks against the northerners. So anyhow, the homie I'm telling you, you could knock on his muscle and probably hear something, like he's knocking on wood or knocking on metal. This motherfucker G was solid. Just he looked like a weight with legs. Yeah. So anyhow, man, G and the northerner get to going back and forth. G knock him out. Well, first he knocked him down, bam. Then he knocked him down again, bam. When that happened, shit, you know northerners ain't gonna sit back and watch that happen. So they got active. But here's the problem. While they got active, there were blacks that were in the gym because back then they had the gym open. And there were blacks that were going inside the northern stuff, taking their stuff. Like you got that. Like it ain't cool. I mean, it's war, riots. Ain't no rules in the sense, but still in this there's something like, man, look, they going in these northerners lockers, right? And about 2 months later, 2 months later, they got to be on lockdown every 90 days. 2 months later, you got to come out, be on the yard, and the northerners seeing brothers walking around with their shoes, their jeans that they mama didn't buy them. Just think you on the yard, and a nigga walk by sagging hella hard, sagging hella hard with your jeans on that you know because you didn't iron them motherfuckers 2,100 times, so you know your jeans. So right when they say it's supposed to be cool, the Northerners took flight again. But that one person that did the stealing, that was wearing they shit, thinking that they was just gonna let it happen because they said, "Yeah, we with the peace, it's good." Yeah, he was the first one to get got. First one to get got. What's his name? Kamikaze. Never mind. Anyhow, so then after that, they have a meeting. They have a meeting. The blacks and the northerners. It says, what they say? They said the shit cool. Shit's supposed to been squashed. Oh yeah, right. So they came out. They had the northerners had a meeting. For whatever reason, they agreed. Look, we cool. We cool. We can come out. And once again, I'm not sure what caused this one this time, but it cracked off in front of 11 building on the yard. So now this shit has been going on. Now it didn't been like two in a piece of skirmish, and this shit is going on for 6 months. Next thing you know, that's when the Southsiders took off on the blacks in front of the canteen, and that riot, I was in it. Real shit. So it's a regular day. Me and the homies, we on the bars working out. It's in Solano, it was mandatory workout like Mando, especially if you under 30, you a young homie. Workout time program. So anyhow, we on the bars and we look up. We see just a pack of Southsiders with no shirts, bunch of young ones going to approach the blacks at the canteen. We watch them and showing up, they took off. So we run over there to go help the blacks. And one thing, weird shit always happens in riots. Weird shit. Like by the time I got over there, all the blacks had like Southsiders stretched out, picked up, pulled this way, that way. It was bad, but they obviously went on a suicide mission. Cause it was only like five of them, and six of them, they ran up on about 20 blacks. Ran up on them. So when I said something weird always happened, man, when I ran up, I looked and I seen a fucking cane flying in the air. Just flying in the air. Weird as shit. It's safe to say, though, that it went bad. But the riot is still going on. Because the whole while they sent that group on that kamikaze to them brothers at the canteen, they had the shot caller up against the fence across the yard, putting pinholes in them with that little ice pick. They did him bad. Yeah, Southsider's king of the diversion for sure. So after we run to help the other blacks, when we see one black over by the bathroom, he in trouble. That motherfucker running for his motherfucking life. He look a big old pussy. But we was about to go help him, but I'm telling you, CO Cruz, man, that motherfucker must have jumped on the homie back. Like I don't know, man. Look, it was probably about 6, 7 of us. But the way he jumped on the homie's back and hit him with that motherfucking baton, that nigga was like, "Oh, I'm down." That was it. When we seen how hard he hit Q, nigga, we all proned out like, "Ooh, shit." But anyhow, after that, so that means we at war with the North and the South at the same damn time. And they helping each other. We had proof they was helping each other. That was 2005. That was the first time we heard the rumor about La Raza with the North and the South forming together. That was the first time I heard the rumor. And that was 2005. We're in 2023, huh? So, next you know, every 90 days, somebody got to come off a lockdown, though. So the Northerners, they decided they wanted peace. So what happened is the homie V, I'm gonna call him V. I ain't gonna say his name, I'm gonna say V. Like the homie V had the line for the homies. And basically was the go-between the races when it came to talking politics. But me, I'm fresh off a level 4 yard with all the politics. So I'm in V's ear, like, cause V kind of soft in some areas, but I'm in his ear, like, look, if you want peace, this is how it is. This is what you gotta do, right? So what happened is in the process of that lockdown, the homie Taz, he get into it, cause he's smelling breath like burning plastic. because like North, like anybody, like when they making something, shit, burnt plastic. But the homie Taz was like, man, fuck that shit. I can't breathe in this bitch. So Taz came out, went to their door, and told them to cut that, man, quit that shit. I can't breathe in this bitch. They put a knife on the window and said, tat, tat, tat. When we come off lockdown, we gonna stab your bitch ass. Told the homie that. The homie went crazy. He made a big old scene, I'm telling you, but he couldn't get to him because they on lockdown. But they told him we gonna stab your bitch ass as soon as we come off. Right, so he went crazy. Taz went crazy like it was like shit. They threatened his life, which they did. So anyhow, now fast forward back to the negotiation to come off a lockdown. Look, Vince is the go. I mean, V is the go between, and I'm in his ear. But the thing is, when I'm giving him this game on how to orchestrate peace, you gotta literally tell me everything. So if changes need to be made, they can be made. So, we had a meeting on the yard. We had a meeting on the yard, like who was all in favor of offense or defense. That was what the word was. If we're gonna be on the offense or is we gonna be on the defense? If we're gonna be on the offense, we can't do no waiting because these Northerners is not playing. These Northerners is with the shit. So we can't do no waiting. And in defense, man, every time we didn't try the defense the last 2-3 times, they didn't broke that. And we going on 9-10 months now. Man, look. So the word was so we ended up majority rule vote for the defense. We gonna be ready. The young homies gonna be ready, but vote a majority rule for peace. And I was with that. I was with that. So this is what happened. When they came off lockdown, they started in 7 building. Because V orchestrated the peace with the Northerners, like he taking it upon himself like he did a great thing, but really he wasn't a political person to begin with. He just was older and had been in that spot for a while. So anyhow, man, like there was legends on that yard. Like if you from Sac and you know about the homie Baye, then yeah, there's legends on that yard from Sac. But this dude V did not tell us one crucial element, and this is what happened. So when they released the first 2 sales of Northerners, matter of fact, not even the first two, the first sale. No, they released about 5-6. But this nigga V walk up to the Northerner and say, "Hey, man," and go to shake his hand. When he go to shake his hand, he kind of pulled the Northerner in and to embrace him, like, man, give me a real hug, man. Come on, like it's cool. Man, that motherfucker Sally came from behind V, must have got the slice in his face. Slice in his face. Everybody in that day room activated. Everybody. They was beating ass, but still, like V, he fucked up because he should not of orchestrated peace when the deal was y'all get rid of Taz and we'll get rid of our folks. He didn't tell nobody that. So when it came time to come off lockdown, they got rid of their folks in dramatic fashion. Damn near had to bring a helicopter. But we didn't move on our folks. The problem is, if he would have told us part of the deal was we get rid of our own homie, we would have said no deal. But he didn't say nothing. And rightfully so, that's why he got cut. So therefore, oh man, after that, man, I'm telling you, them police literally ran up in every Northerner cell on the yard because the police felt like they was instrumental in letting them off because they wanted to let the Northerners off. They thought they had it. And next thing you know, it turned out they sliced somebody. So man, they must have went and it was, man, I'm telling you, it was epic. They put us all on the yard, all the blacks on the yard. And we bought the clean house. And they went and tore up every Northerner cell on that yard, upside down, downside up. And made a spectacle. But anyhow, man, that was the year-long war. That was the year-long war. And there was people walking around walking around Solano still to this day with wounds from them wars in '05. So Southsiders and Northerners, if y'all ever been through Solano's an active pen. Them motherfuckers, that was an active pen in '05, '06, '07, '08. And if you ever went through there, then you know, dirty come.